realize in a video game when you have the level to do just like the battery with the highest level of strength, and you're like, yes, I fight, yeah, I move forward. I'm gonna try to keep the mic close to my mouth just because of the wind. Life, this is such a complicated topic, and I'm not saying that for or in a way that I know so much, especially because if you know me, and you know that when I'm every time that I'm talking to you and I'm talking about spirituality, personal growth, which are topics so dear to my heart, not just because it is fascinating and because I am like everyone else, I am walking that path, but because every time I'm learning new stuff, and every time that I'm learning new stuff, and I'm like, why I didn't get that information before, why I didn't get that tool sooner. Um, it's always to realize, to understand that it's really, life is really about life. I should say more your personal growth. It's really like a video game. It's really funny because last year I did some downloads for predictions, and I don't remember if it was July prediction or for the month of August last year prediction. It doesn't matter, it was the summer. But in the prediction, it was one of the things that I got was really with the visual, since I'm clairvoyant and clairaudience, but it was a visual of video game, and it was clearly said that for our human brain and where we are at the moment in the our transformation, it's easier for our mind to comprehend a little bit better how it works, just like a video game. Every time that I'm thinking about that analogy of video game for life and for what we are experiencing, what we are going through, life lessons, what has to be understand and go through. I always have the same visual, and I've never really been a video game. Now every time that I have a download specific to life, to lessons to go through, or yes, with video game, it's always like if I have a slice of a building, but an open building, and that I can see all of the uh, layers, all of the floors, but it's all open. Like if I can see, usually I can see 3 floors at a time. I don't really see what is happening on each floor, but it's just a representation of a floor represent a state in life, of where we have to experience something. They are gonna be some adventures, some obstacle to go through, um, some tough things, whatever you want to imagine. I think I do not have any specific because I've never been really into video games. And so when I am explaining that to you, it's like leaving the space open for your imagination to put your experience of playing video game, and to make it easier for you by transporting the video game that you like. When you are in one floor, it's you're playing one level, and you have tons of things that you have to go through to get more points or to learn new tricks on how to fight or how to defeat an enemy. Uh, you have a multitude of obstacle of interior inside levels to succeed in order to really win the level where you are. Let's just say that this is the first level. So in order to win the first level and to go to the second, you have a multitude of things that you have to win, to acquire, to be rewarded with, and to get new tools to put into your toolbox so you can keep getting higher. And every time that you are reaching a different layer, a different level, you know that you have in your toolbox what you need to defeat the new enemy. Or maybe it's an old one coming back. It's like, aha, I got what it takes to fight you, and I'm gonna get you down. or you are not going to get me down. And every time I think it's so extremely useful, but very true. First, to understand, it makes it easier. And second, um, about that matrix, about that world, that illusion, that it makes as well easier to have that understanding, that visual of video game. Very different, obviously. um, but that would be the same thing, and especially I would say with if you bring the whole conversation with infinite timeline dimension possible me existing at the same time, so an infinite possible you for every decision, every action that you are taking. There is a different version, a different dimension existing, and what's happening from that decision. And then there's something else that has been decided and has been done, and that there's another possibility, and it's an infinite things. And I think for where we are with our brains, it's helped to easier to make it wrap around video games and different levels within that game. And when we have defeated one specific enemy in lower level, and it's coming back, but suddenly it's like, okay, hold on a second, why I cannot defeat you? First, why are you back? I thought that you were gone, and I got the tools for putting you down. So why do I struggle? Why I cannot? What is happening? I don't understand. It's because that enemy appears, that old enemy, frenemy, appears in a higher level because it's a different circumstances. It's a different level of understanding into the life lesson. Life lesson is not just one application. It's gonna be a multitude of application of different circumstances. Obviously, you don't control the elements, just like life. There are so many things that you do not control, and you just have to go with it. Or, to stay in in your bubble and decide that what is happening outside is not relevant to me. And that's another lesson that I learned. Yesterday I had a really great day. I found on my feed, on my YouTube feed, some extra video of Bashar. And I'm sure that if you are on a spiritual journey, you know who Bashar is. So it's not surprising to have some videos because I'm watching from time to time. But the videos that was suggested to me to watch was extremely to the dot, specific to where I am at the moment, um, in a very cornered place and situation where at the moment I don't really know how to get out of it. That um, put me in a very tricky financial situation. That it's the first time that I have to experience it. I do not enjoy this because obviously I have no idea how to get out of it. All of the videos that came up to my feed yesterday, and I think it was the same for the past 2 or 3 days, that I'm watching a lot of videos from Bashar, and a few of them was a good reminder of things that I already heard from him as advice for all of us to do. And for whatever reason, I forgot about it, or some parts was forgotten, about finding something that you're passionate about and excited, and then you act upon that excitement. And then you keep following that excitement, see where it is taking you. But that part that I have forgotten was the last one. It's, well, probably because I can see for myself. But you have to keep moving with that excitement, but without expectation for the outcome. That's the biggest turnout, without having any expectations on the outcome, to get something out of it. Well, I don't know for you, but but it's really not an easy thing for me. Better understanding of life lessons, but more specifically of false belief, because this is so easily to be hidden. So everything that I'm saying right now, it's just not that I'm changing subjects. It's you're experiencing many things. Old frenemies are coming back, and you thought that you had the tools. So that's what happened for me. For the past 2 months, I was really going well with all of the tools that I had from the previous levels that I had acquired, the new strength, just like visualize in a video game when you have, the level to do, just like the battery with the highest level of strength, and you're like, yes, I fight, yeah, I move forward. Situations happen, and suddenly you see the level of the battery just shrinking to basically nothing. And just imagine that aside from the nothingness left, it's like you're even going 6 feet under, and you're like, what the frag? It's like, that's how is that even possible? But I could see the difference within me. I could see the how much I transformed. The situation where I am 3 months ago, I would be crazy panicking like a monkey, jumping everywhere. So I am proud of the work that I managed to do. And that work of being able to be in the storm and to stay calm uh, is a tremendous improvement. And since society and generationally speaking, and parents and anyone around, they are um, putting fears in everything, in any aspects of life. There is fear. Be able to detach yourselves, at least from the biggest fear. Um, and while you are in a storm, it's a tremendous improvement, and I really hope that you can experience that, or that it will soon be that experience for you. When you are fighting in that new level, and you are put into corners to really go through life lessons, because they are big ones, and I really had the download when I asked, why all of this, why that intense, why, how much. It's like, um, since I was a kid, my mother has always defined me as the why lady, because I was always asking why, and I had an answer, but why, and I had another answer, but why. I always found more questions coming from it, and it could take a while until I was satisfied that the answers that I was getting was like, okay. So it was the same with my higher self or my spirit guide. I was like always asking, okay, why the situation where I am in, why this is so dark, and every time it came back always as the same thing. It's, well, first because I had contracted to experience it, and because previous years, it doesn't matter, but it has pushed away that I have chosen to not face them, not to go through those life lessons, and not seeing the false beliefs as well. Since the planet is still pushing, she's not pushing, she is transforming, but it is pushing our own transformation in order to keep going into the highest frequency that she's reaching up. We have to adapt, obviously, or not, but the majority has to adapt with the frequency, with the way of thinking, the way of being. So we are kind of pushed to purge all of those um, shitty thoughts, false belief, wrong belief, lies, to come up. Hence, there are so many purging, different way of purging, but purging. Um, And for me, it happens like almost every day. I'm gonna start to cry for no specific reason to what I'm doing, where I am, or what I'm watching. So those are the perfect moment. I don't know for you. I'm sure that you have experienced that. But when it happens, isn't it strange that you watch something and suddenly, oh, like a wave is just takes you, and you start to cry, and you know instantly that it's not related to what you're watching, but it feels good, especially when you know in that way that it's a purge. So for me, what I always said, it's like it's okay to let go. It's okay. I don't need that anymore. I'm happy to let it go, and I let it go like go. And I mean, maybe 2 or 3 seconds later, it stops. It stops. Like I feel calmer. I feel better. Like it's out. But there is so much that has to be left out, that has to be purged out. So it's a constant one. It's really like the layers of an onion. It's the classic example, but it's the best one that can be taken to explain. It's really you go through one layers and there's going to be another one and an infinite amount of layers of onion to go through. There are some big major life lessons and false belief to go through, but to go through in order for me to move forward. And I'm sure that you have experienced that, or maybe you are right now, right? Experiencing this, that you might feel stuck, or you don't know how to move forward, or it's just a huge question mark because you don't know. You're kind of, you know what, I let go. I have no fucking idea what I'm supposed to do. I've tried everything. It's just I don't know anymore. When you really pay attention and when you really work with your highest self or spirit guides, and depending on the level of work that you have or relationship that you have with them, I don't know for you, but for me, I hear them. It's not that they're talking to me all the time, but I don't necessarily have to go every time on meditation to have communication. They can, I'm gonna hear something or have a visual, and for the past, I think it happened already last week, that I had the visual of doing some practice for acrylic paintings. It's something new for me. The encaustic paintings that you have seen, the videos as well. This is something that I do since 1996. I would say that I really master my craft into creating the paintings, and the why it is created for and how is it helping. But for acrylic, that I tried for trying something, I realized that I liked it a lot. It's really calmed me down and it really brings me a lot of joy. So for me, those are really good indications of going with excitement. And at this point, with acrylic painting, for instance, I have no expectations, I have no outcome specific how to use for maybe, I don't know, creating money or a side hustle or something. It's really just because I want to keep practicing. I want to get better or find this a style that would fit me for painting. Because for me, I started beginning with realistic. I love realistic, whether it is with whatever it will be, markers or crayons or color pencils or whatever that would be. When it's, I can see a realistic uh, art. It's mind blowing. You think every time. I'm sure you must have thought the same thing. It's like a picture. It's like a photograph. It's amazing. It's probably why I went into coloring, learning to color pencil and to try with painting, because at that time anyway, I wanted to be able to craft that as well. And when I was able to go back at doing some acrylic paintings here in Mexico, it was as if, um, it's not that I didn't want it to. It's like I wasn't good. Even I always followed, specific videos, the one that you can find on Instagram, for instance, or on YouTube as well, that you have the artist really showing you colors, the brush, and how to paint. This is the one, or the ones that I followed myself to learn. It's not that I felt that I didn't want to do realistic ones, but it felt like I don't have the patience to do anything realistic for whatever reason. It's not that I took the two first paintings that I did, that it took forever, hours following the tutorial videos, but it felt like it wasn't the right time for me to do that. And was like, yeah, but what, conversation really, really with myself. Okay, so what do you want to do? What do you want to create? Because I like to have something real. And I have that answer back within, like, it has to be something else. You have to let go of any expectations. And at that time, it was really like, it doesn't make any sense, or I do not like that. I like to have, like you, to have, specific vision, specific goal. It's not just blindly to have that experience. So to do this, up until yesterday, that I finally sit down at the table and recorded it in a video as well. Sadly, it's going to be in French on my French channel. Um, so what I was painting, and I really followed, but I was like listening to what was guiding me. I picked up that color or that color. When I said the guiding me, it's because it's the same with encaustic paintings. Okay, I took those colors and I look at all the different brushes that I have in the bag. Clearly not an expert at using them or which one to do what effect. So, okay, that one is calling me. I take that one and I start to do this and I start to do that. And the more that I kept going into the painting, there's a reason for everything. The more that I was doing it, the more I was understanding and having the realization that, you know what? It was talking to me. Don't you think that it's a little bit like your life? If you are capable of doing something that brings you excitement, but you have no expectations of how it's going to look like, the end goal, the result, like, I knew that I was going for some abstracts, and I knew that I might not see anything. And I do not even try to create something cute and nice and beautiful. I was like, more whatever. I I had a call of doing some acrylic paintings, and I have the feeling of, even lifting my hand, so not touching the table with my wrist and the brush. Doing this was really like hand lifted in the air and going that direction. Oh, okay, that creates this. And now what happened if I do that? So without having the expectations of, I do not want to mess up the page where I was painting, because before that's how it felt. And I'm sure that's how it feels sometimes for you as well about life. It's about not messing up things. We want things to work for something specific and to succeed. So I knew that I was going for paintings without expectations of how it's gonna look, what it's gonna represent, or the fact that I do that movement of how does that work if I work like this, if I do this with this pressure. It was like almost, I don't really give a frack of how it's gonna look like. It's an abstract. Abstract is abstract. So you see what you want to see. And when I was doing it and I suddenly, the bulb light, but it's like even last week, or no, I have to say that the past weekend, the past 4 days, it's like every day the bulb is lighting up by making some understanding of life lessons and false beliefs, like it's lighting up all the time. I'm grateful. It's a shitty period to go through, but at least I'm moving forward and I'm clearing up some karma and getting rid of false belief. But it was funny that I was painting, and when I had that realization, I stopped and I was smiling like now big, and I was like, huh. So using the art, using um, the acrylic painting to practice to bring me that lesson, that understanding, to translate it with my life, that gonna work with your life as well, obviously, you know that. um, to let go. You had, so it was talking to me, you had no problem at not having expectations for the painting, no worries about not creating something nice or cute. You didn't care, right? How does that feel? You know, it's funny sometimes. I'm not always sure who is talking to me, like if it's my higher self or if it's which one of my spirit guides, or if it's an angel, or even if it's a member of my cosmic family. I have many, and especially last for the past 10 days, I think I met three new members. Um, and usually that's when I know that I am going through something major and big, because more are coming to me um, to support me. And but the way that it was talking to me, it was really funny in that way. Huh? How did that feel? You survived, right? You didn't do any damage. So, what do you think? How can you translate that to your life? And it was funny, but in a good way. I said that, yes, okay, I can see that. But immediately I said that, but I know that I need more days, or at least another close day, to paint again and to go through that experience for it to sink in. I don't know for you, but for me, especially false belief, they are so deep down anchored, hence the difficulty to find them. Um, Last week, I made one. I discovered one around money where there is tons of false belief existing, and this is one. You know, having a lot of money, and if I have a lot of money, I'm gonna become greedy like everyone else or the majority. But I was lucky in my life to always meet people with a lot of money, but who are very greedy. So, not having necessarily the best example for me to believe at something else, but I'm guessing everything leads to a reason to happening for that moment. Anyway, but every time that I heard about that false belief, that, never resonated in my mind. It was kind of a, no, that's not me. No, that's not me. And so last week, I was doing at that time some journaling. This is something that I'm not doing often because it doesn't really resonate with me. But I had to lash out. I had so much frustration inside me, and anger, and even dark thoughts. And I have to be very specific when I use dark thoughts, and sensitive for people. When I use the word dark thoughts, it's about killing myself. So it's really dark. I was journaling, and so I was lashing out, but at the same time, it's like I can see on one channel there's the lash out, the thoughts that are pouring down, and at the same time I have kind of a parallel channel open for analyzing what was written down, or to receive the downloads of what does that mean, and blah blah blah, because it happens automatically. And automatically I can see myself just like it was yesterday, or it just happened, and I just put down the pen on the notebook, and I was like, huh, hold on a minute. And I could see the bulb lighting up. Holy frack, I believe that. Holy shit. So it was a good reminder that one of the videos that I watched yesterday that was given to me on the feed about Bashar was about one of them. I think it was a few, but one of them was with false belief. And once you identify a false belief uh, out loud, you erase it. Remember when I said at the beginning that the frenemy that you thought that you had vanquished at a previous lower level and that is coming back, and you're like, I do not understand, why is it again here? Or that it's absolutely hidden and suddenly, ta-da, I'm here, you didn't see me coming, to completely fracked up your life to the point that I had to step back like 3,000 kilometers back and like, what am I doing wrong? Because I thought that I was doing everything kind of according to the book, the different tools, and to apply differently. But clearly, I've done something wrong to get myself into that place. So part of the answer was yes, I did something wrong, but at the same time, I had to go through this experience to be able to get those false beliefs and those specific life lessons and to change. So it was like, lucky me, I had contracted that when it's really time to make some huge advancements, it's like, give me everything. Yeah. Anyway, so I hope it's easier for you. But all of this to say that life is complicated and it's really like a video game, that you have many layers to go through to experience, that you're going to have adventures, good and bad inside. And when you go to the next one, you can find again, encounter again an old frenemy and not understanding, or that you're using the tools that you had used before to vanquish and it doesn't work. What is happening? Everything always happened for a reason. Just like going through a simple task of doing acrylic painting for practicing, just because I really needed to do something that brings me joy, doing something that could be that easy or that innocent. That's just, I'm just gonna do some sketching because I empty my mind. Be assured that you have that call to do something like this because you're gonna receive the understanding of part, at least, why the struggle, or it's gonna really lead you to something else. It's really the demonstration, just like Bashar said, of do something that brings you excitement and joy. Follow it, go where it leads you. I go into it and I realize that, you know what, I had fun at not trying to do something realistic or to get anything particular, that I didn't even give a frack I was gonna look like, just to practice. Oh, what happens if I do this with the brush? And that pressure is like, I really let go of the third thing of do not have any expectation for the outcome. When I was in that realization of having fun and I'm full of that fun, and I do not have any expectation how it's gonna look like or what is it even gonna bring me, it helps and you understand why it happened. But I'm gonna say at the same time, that's why I had immediately the reaction of answering back, yeah, okay, but I'm gonna need more than just this time for the lesson to really sink in, because I do many things, quite a few things. And if you have seen, and I know that you have seen the videos explaining what am I doing now, where I'm focusing in specifically on things that I really love, enjoy, and bring me excitement. And those things are for building a business, to have clients, to live, to make a living upon it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it's where it sucks because it's like I don't understand, because this is something that brings me excitement. It's a passion for me. And I even had clients, and I was so excited. So it's like I why then it's fell down and nothing, it's like the desert. It's like nothing is coming. I don't understand, I don't understand, I don't understand. And you go with your tool in your toolbox and it's even making things worse. It's that third element of not having expectation of the outcome. But how do you make that happen? How do you bring that into your everyday life? And especially if it's for something, a topic that you are building your new way of making money. You are building, I don't know why I have the word career coming in, but it feels wrong. But I'm going to use it since it's coming. That you're building a new career, but that I choose, that you choose this career and you want to do it. So obviously, you have some natural outcomes, expectations that you wanted to succeed. You want to have clients, recurring clients, new clients, referrals. You want to make money, especially when it becomes the only way for you to pay your expenses, your food. So it's like it's a need. So, how do you separate yourself from that basic need that the matrix, the physical world requires with money, and with the experience of going with the excitement of something and not having any expectations? That's a question that I'm asking you. This is something that obviously I'm still working on it, because I feel like it's kind of here. It's like as if I can grab it almost, but it's like it's a bit too foggy. That's why I put so much effort for the past 4 days. Um, I'm really balancing out again my vibrations, and when I'm doing more meditation, but because for me meditation is first such a huge moment to bring myself into deep peace and calm. When I said at the beginning of this video that life is so complicated and so vast, it's just it's difficult to give advice to someone else on this is what you should do to work on yourself. Whether it's personal growth, it's just knowing who you are and what you want to do in your life, because you realize that you don't want to keep doing this anymore, or that you are on your spiritual path, that uh, you have started to be awakened, and there's a huge tons of questions that you're asking and you want to know more. So you go deeper into that personal work that you had started with the personal one. The first level would be the personal one, the basic, and the more, or depending on if you want, that you are getting into it, like you're falling into the rabbit hole of spiritual growth and understanding, and it's like it's opening wide the door to the universe and the understanding. So it's like it's going in a different category. But when you are going there, first you need to know that you're not the only one experiencing it. Otherwise it's like I'm crazy, or I'm failing constantly. It's like, oh, I do not understand. So it's good to hear from others first. And I want to say the first word that comes up, it's human. It's not human. It's human in the way that because of the experience of this world, of experiencing everything, it's normal, natural that we appreciate to have some guidelines, some tips, some suggestions of do this and do that, and just like for a recipe. And the more that I keep going into my own spiritual growth and personal one, and the more that I receive insights and tools from others, downloads from my personal channeling, for myself, so really like the ones who know everything, but who enjoys so much to stay cryptic with me, or not too much in detail. Um, you realize that just like, again, the video game and the level, the tools that you had and the understanding that you had walking into the level one, for instance, when you are in level two, are not really working anymore. And you're going to receive during that level two some new elements, new rewards, new tools, and you're like, okay, so why didn't I receive those one before? Because those ones would have been useful in the level first as well. It's about frequency. It's when you are at level one, you have a specific frequency that match the level one. When you won completely the level one, you are changing your frequency. That's why you can get into the second one. You have a new frequency at the level two, even if there are different levels within, obstacles and understanding. But winning the level one open the doors to the level two, otherwise you cannot reach the second level. And you have to understand that contrary to video games, even if I do not know much about video games, there are no tips or tricks, no secret codes that you can enter or do and that you will find your way into the next level even if you didn't complete all the tasks that you are supposed to. In this spiritual and personal growth world, it doesn't work like this. There is no secret thing that will be given to you to reach the next level, sadly. So, the tool that you receive in the second level, and that you question that why couldn't I have had that before, it's because it's the frequency from the second level that allows you to receive that new tool. The frequency of the first level doesn't even, it's like a password. It's like your antenna can receive a certain type of signal at the first level. And when you won the first level, you suddenly had more power or more new software to boost the signal, and suddenly, or to boost the power of the antenna to detect more. And suddenly, you can detect, because you are in the second level, you can detect new ones. But you needed those ones before for you to go to the next one, and then you receive the next one. So that's why it's so difficult to say that you should do this and you should do that, and it's going to work perfectly for everyone and every time. Most likely, it will not. Not because it's not effective, it is effective, but the problem is everyone's journey is a custom made one. Everyone else living around me, just to stay living here, has their own path, their own experience, custom made like it was contracted. What I see from everyone else, what they are experiencing, it's really theirs. I have no idea what are their contracts. I'm not channeling those people to reach their contracts. I don't even know my own contracts. I tried many times. I have no clues. When I say that I know it's in my contract, it's just because it's a tiny bit of information that the whoever has talked to me at that moment just confirm or validated that it's part of your contract. But I still have no picture of exactly what is in mine. But this is something else that is very, very, very much important for you. Please keep in mind. Another lesson that I learned is to not compare the experience of my life with anyone else that I can see around. Even if it seems similar, it is completely different. I have no idea what they have contracted to experience. So that doesn't make my experience and the way that I'm handling it as a failure, as a mess, as a loser. or whatever bad words you're gonna use or had used. It's my experience is different. It's really important to keep in mind that, or to stick around your values, your true beliefs, the one that really you can feel inside, that makes sense, that no, that feels right. But what I can hear from others, their perspective, their way of seeing life, never really sits with me. If it's not sitting with you, well, it's not your belief, so there's no need to pick up onto others' belief. That it's easy to get lost. It's easy to lose ourselves on this path. And I easily lost myself on this path. I don't want you to get lost. It's true that whenever I'm sharing something, it's not that it's not valuable. It's just to take it and to try and to see how it works, how it feels within. Like any tools, you have many tools in a toolbox. If you're doing DIY or you're more serious, having a look on my door with the when my closet. You have many tools. You are not using all the tools all at once every single time, right? Well, this the same thing. It doesn't take anything away from the use, the preciousness, from the utility, from the that's not the word, uh, from the practicality, for the efficiency of the tool. It's not because you need a screw that suddenly the hammer is is useless and that you're going to toss it away. You The hammer is not useful at that moment for you for what you need. Hence, to create a toolbox with many tools inside. So you can try, okay, if that tools doesn't work, okay, I'm going to try that one and the next one and so on and so forth until you find the tool that works for you. That's how it works. And that's how it can be so much frustrating sometimes when we can hear, and that includes me as well, from others. It's like, yes, I've been there, I experienced that, so I did that, and trying to do this, and you're like invigorating. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna work for me. And when you realize that it works, but maybe just a little bit or not at all, it's like, oh, it's really crap. Everything that they are saying, it doesn't work, and why it doesn't work. It's like, there cannot be a recipe, a one size recipe. And even, the concept for the clothing, that's like one size fits all. It's, yeah, probably like a bunch of people, no matter their form and their size, can fit, like can get in. But how is it gonna look like? I'm sure that in a very screwed up way, if you're using the hammer to screw something, I'm guessing you can make it work somehow, but it's not gonna be the same as if you're using a screwdriver for doing that task. So staying calm is really a key into it, and having the tools to stay calm. And usually it's always gonna be going back at doing something that brings you a lot of excitement and joy, because it's just gonna raise up your vibration. And I know that for you, you have something specific as well, no matter the size, no matter what that is, that brings you a lot of excitement and joy. And you just have to go with that to see where it takes you. And the third part, the most difficult one, is not having any expectations, not having any outcome, specific outcome from that. By itself, it's a lesson to go through. And I intend to successfully go through, because it is what I need to master right now. To be able to talk about that, it's to show a different side of myself, to be even more vulnerable. When I decided many years ago to start to post on socials something, and especially on YouTube, It was always with I decide what I want to share about myself and with whom I want to share it. And I value a lot of my privacy. And if I start to really share right now that much more, first it's because I've been advised to do so, and every time that I follow my guides or my highest self, I always see afterwards why, even if at the moment I have no idea why. I trust my guides, I trust my highest self, or whoever with high and good intention is giving me, and I learn to follow it. And there are very good, high, intense, and precious gems that I gave you in this video about your life. Hopefully, you had the patience to listen to everything. But you know what? If you put in the background and you're cooking or you're doing something else and you are listening at the same time, so it's like you're gonna catch it and then you're gonna stop. It is like, huh, that's interesting. And you're gonna go back and you're gonna listen properly or better. And even if not, even if there's no one who is looking at this video, that is another example of doing something with excitement, having zero expectation for the outcome. It's the action of filming, editing. Hopefully, it's not going to be too much editing. And obviously, posting. The biggest action is the posting. That's what is making the decision, compared to another me in a different dimension who would have stopped at just the recording and not even do the editing, or have done the editing and then has changed its mind, is that, oh no, it's really too long, I'm not going to post that. You know what, I don't care. It's part of my own life experience of the journey of being out there, or of showing who I am more and more every time, with more proud, of not fearing of, well, there's gonna be some critics, some judgments. And this is where the past 2 months has come up with for me. I'm never gonna be able to please everyone. There's always gonna be someone who's not gonna be happy, no matter the topic, no matter the length, no matter the what. So you know what, me, I am the one that matters the most. And I hope you know that it's the same for you, that when you work on yourself, you are the one that comes the first for me. I told you many times. So since right now it's really about me, I'm the one that matters the most. My own healing, my own strength, and becoming more and more stronger into becoming my true self. And my true self, it's speaking up out loud, saying the things that I want to say, and not caring a bit about whoever and whatever will be said after that. Part of the journey, sometimes it's just to do something for no one, but completely for me. And I'm okay with that. And I hope this is another thing that you can remember and get out of this lengthy video. Do things for yourself. And that's all what it takes to do the first step into your building your self-confidence, of believing in your worth, of speaking, of being seen. And even if, again, nobody's watched the video, you're still gonna be heard by the algorithm. Not the same, but kind of, it's the same idea of screwing something with a hammer. Use your imagination. For whoever is still here, thank you. Like the video, just for the algorithm. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Thank you if you're a subscriber. And see you next time, hopefully in something maybe not that long. Bye.